When somebody starts complaining, it's contagious. When somebody starts gossiping, it's contagious. When somebody criticizes other people, it's contagious. And man, if you can be a person who never has a bad word to say about anybody, that is such a valuable asset to the people around you. Got some people in my life who like to complain, like to talk bad about other people, and like to blame other people for their situation, and also like to criticize other people. And I've learned something. I was actually reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And there's a part in there about complaining, or maybe it's not the 7 habits, it's how to win friends and influence people. Anyway, those 2 books are one and the same, and I highly recommend both those reads if you want to become a better person, better leader, and make more friends. But what happened to me was I decided that I was going to go a whole week without complaining, meaning no complaining to my wife about how I don't feel the best or acting grumpy or blaming somebody else for my situation or just generally complaining about something. So a whole week without doing that, that was impossibly hard. So I recommend you try it. And another thing is to not blame anybody else for a situation that I'm in. So if something bad happens to me, even if it's out of my control or somewhat out of my control, I'm going to look at it as far as what I can control and what I could have done to prevent it and what I can do going forward. And I'm not going to point my finger or blame anybody else for the situation that I'm in. And the third thing is that I'm not going to criticize anybody. No criticizing someone else ever, whether that be an employee, which is incredibly hard, or a family member, or somebody down the street. I'm not going to criticize anybody else for what they do, for their actions, or for the situation that they're in. Now, those 3 things, they sound so simple. We're not going to talk bad about anybody. We're not going to blame anybody else for our situation. We're not going to criticize anybody. I did a week of that. And I think that I was a lot more pleasant to be around. I think that I was a lot happier. That sounds so silly, but it's human nature for people to complain. It's human nature for people to blame somebody else for when something goes wrong. And it's human nature to criticize other people. And it's such a cancerous mindset that can lead you down the trail of unhappiness and frankly make you pretty miserable to be around. Nobody cares if you have something to complain about. Nobody cares. They don't want to hear it. Every situation that you're in, 99% of the time, you can solve the situation. I've told the story many times about how my business partner and I, for years, we would just look at each other and blame the economic environment for the fact that we couldn't find employees, for the fact that we couldn't get warehouses because the economy was booming, commercial real estate was booming. It was really hard to get warehouses. Our employees had plenty of jobs, other jobs, so it was really hard for them to get them to come work for us, to find competent employees. And eventually we just took extreme ownership of, okay, I'm in this situation and everybody else is in this same situation. Every other business owner is in the same economic environment. What can I do? What can I actually control about this situation? It turns out when we really dug in, a lot. We can control a lot. We can do a better job recruiting employees. We can spend money and time recruiting employees just like we spend money and time recruiting customers. That was a huge part of it. Another thing is we could simplify the job to make it a lot easier on the employees so that they could do it. We could look at our communication and look at our training instead of blaming them for messing up and being incompetent. We could look at what we were doing as managers to leave the opportunity for them to do a poor job. And this last part about criticizing people, it's so easy from the outside looking in to criticize somebody else for what they do. I even find myself criticizing people for complaining now because I'm on this 3-headed monster of a personal vendetta to change myself and become a better person. Criticizing other people and complaining about what they do, how they do it, is a disastrous habit because they don't want to hear it. They don't react well to it. They blame other people and they naturally get defensive, and it creates a horrible environment in your house, in your business, in your office, in your friend group. So these things have helped me tremendously just in this past week. I've worked on these things a lot over the years, I first read How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think 10 years ago. I first read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People around that same time. And I have been working hard at this stuff for a long time, but it's not always easy. So I was falling back into it. And in the past week, I've become a happier person. My wife is happier to be around me. My kids are happier to be around me. My employees are happier to communicate with me. I think I have a better persona around customers even. I think it rubs off on every area of life. And I'm really excited about what it's doing for my marriage already and my friendships. And I really encourage you to give it a shot. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with business, more of life advice, but stop complaining, stop blaming other people for your situation, and stop criticizing other people. Now, if you can do that for a week, I challenge you to do it for a week. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna falter, you're gonna do it, you're gonna catch yourself, you're gonna regress. But if you can do that, and if you can do that stuff long-term, you're gonna be so much more fun to be around. You're gonna be so much more fun to work for. You're gonna be so much more fun to live with. And you're just gonna be a happier, better person. So get out there and try it. Take it into your business with you, around your employees. Take it into your house, around your kids and your wife. And just enjoy the benefits of doing that. But it's so hard. Remember, it's contagious. It's contagious. When somebody starts complaining, it's contagious. When somebody starts gossiping, it's contagious. When somebody criticizes other people, it's contagious. Gossip is such a horrible deal. I have friends who are gossipers, and it's contagious. I find myself falling into it. I find myself talking bad about other people. And man, if you can be a person who never has a bad word to say about anybody, that is such a valuable asset to the people around you. So keep up the good work. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Hey guys, I have big news. I recently revamped my sales and customer service team at my self-storage company using folks in South Africa. Listen to this English accent.
Hi there, my name is Anton and I'm a sales professional from Gqeberha or Port Elizabeth, which is in the eastern province of South Africa. I've been in sales for about 8 years now with experience in hardware sales with some of the leading brands in the world, such as Canon, Panasonic, and more recently Red Bull.
Okay, now the surprising part. The person you just listened to is available for hire right now, and they're asking $9 an hour. If you want an introduction, if you want to hire this person into your business or at least interview them, send me an email, nick@sweatystartup.com, and I can make an introduction and offer you $1,000 off the recruiting fee. nick@sweatystartup.com.